Hello and welcome to my tutorial. That's the dirt video. In this video I'm going to explain how I can load the images from the resources in the script and add it to our prefabs in the game. So the first thing what I have to do in this point is to open my script and in the script I want to load all sprites. When we look to the prefab, we see the component image and the source image is a type sprite, so we have to load a sprite. So private, I create two properties from type sprite array, underline back images is then I create a second sprite array, front images, and in my private void set load images, and in this method I load all images, and for that I'm using the resource object load all resources from type. The type is the component type and it's an image, so we load all image. If Unity does not know the image, you have to import using Unity Engine UI. Then you can use the resources load all method dot and this method takes a path, and the path, if you look in our resource folder, the path starts every time from the resource folder in the asset folder. So I use the path images and create here two folders called back, and the second folder is front. The back image is in the back folder, and these three images here are in the front folder. It's only easier to separate it in the script. So I load all images from images back, and that's my back images, because the load all method returns an image array and I need the sprite. So for that you can load also the sprite. The second method call loads all front images in the front folder. So now I call this method in my start method load all images for each, and to check if the images are loaded, create in underline back images, I create a debug log message to log the image name, so I can check if the game loads all images. Front image. So I save my game, I go into Unity, into the console, and I start the game. We see, yes, the image background is loaded, front image 1, front image 2, and front image 3. Now I can add my loaded images to every instance. And to set the sprite to the instance, if we look into the prefab, we see the component image, and the source image is a sprite. So we call the instance. From this instantiate method I get a game object. I call it instance, and this instance I can use to get the components. I need the image, and the image has a sprite, and the sprite is my back image. So I save the game, I go into Unity, I start the game, and we see every image has the back image. Well, now the front images, the memory game is so that 2 cards in the game has the same picture. So I have to implement it that my sprites that are, or my prefabs that are created, has a front image, and only another prefab has to be also the same image. So for that I create firstly a private list. This list has integer values. Index is new list, and this list has the values 0, 1, 1 and 2, 2. These values here are the possible arrays for my front images, because I have only 3 front images. So I have here in the sprite array index 0, 2, 0, 1 and 2. And in my method private void get front image, in this method I load a random image from my front image. So first I need a random number, and this random number, for that I use the Unity random, not the system random, that's the Unity random dot range from 0 to underline index dot count. So now I get a number, and with this number value I can get a value from my index list. random. And when I take the value from the list, I remove the value on this position, because if I get the 0, I have to remove this value, so I can only get 1 time 0. That's important. Then when I have the value, I can create a sprite, and this sprite is front image value, and I can return this sprite return. So now I can show you this in this method. I copy this line and use the method get front image to get the front sprite. I save the script, go into Unity, and I start the game, and we see that's my front pictures. And we see also that the front pictures, every I start the game, they are on a other position. Well, this is working. And the last thing in the video is when I start the game, I have to remember for each instance of my card prefab the picture. So for that I create a new script, and this script is the card property. I open the script, I delete these methods, and this card property contains a private internal sprite, and that's the back image. It contains the front image, and it contains also the instance of the game object. So now I create a constructor, public card property game object instance sprite back image and sprite front image. This back image is back image, this front image is front image, and this instance is instance. Well, now in my game panel behavior, every time if I create an instance, I have to save the front image according to the instance. So for that I create a private dictionary with an integer as a key and a card property as the value. Card properties is new dictionary. So I instantiate the card prefab, I set the back image, varchar front image. I need a front image, so I say get front image, and I create a card property, new card property. This card property gets the instance, the back image, that's always the same, and the current front image. And now I save this card property in my dictionary. The key is the instance ID of the game object. Card property. So after I create the instance, I want to check it in my console, so I create here a public override toString method, and I return here the game object or the instance the back image and the front image. So now I take the instance, get ID, the back image dot name, and the front image dot name. So with this method I print the information about my card properties, and in my start method, after I create the instance, I print a log message to the console from the card property toString method. I save the script, I go into Unity, into the console, and I start the game. Now I get a warning message. Yes, that's because I create the card property script in Unity, and it's automatically inherit from the mono behavior, and a mono behavior cannot be instantiated with new. So, but I don't need this in this card property. So I save the script and I start the game. Yes, and the warning message is away, and now we have the instance ID with the back image and with the front image free. Then we have another instance ID with another front image. Then we have this instance ID, and we see that I have only two same pictures: picture 3, picture 3, picture 2, picture 2, and picture 1, picture 1. Well, that's it for this video tutorial, or for this video. In the next video I add to my components behavior. Hopefully I explained this video, or this, yes, hopefully I explained it well for you in this video. And if you like it, or if you have some questions, write this into the comments. Please subscribe my channel, and hopefully I see you in the next video. Bye.